Hello everybody and welcome back to another crypto video. Today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, US lawmakers, Tron TRX, and DeFi. Starting it off here, there has been a very important fact that a lot of us have been forgetting within Ripple and XRP. It is the fact that Ripple has told us that in 2021 the global expansion will be complete. In an interview, Marcus Treacher describes how Ripple XRP plans to offer its own payment technologies in all countries worldwide by 2021. It is very known that Ripple has had partnerships that they have not discussed. However, a lot of us have been wondering what Ripple's strategy would be to get to global expansion within 1 year. Now, as of this point, the exact strategy has not yet been discussed or uncovered. However, it is very important to all of us to understand that Ripple most likely is already very far into it. And also to understand that this election will most likely have the greatest amount of influence on how fast it's all going to be going. To show this, the second bulletin. It says here, Ripple is ready to expand into China, but current local legislation remains a major obstacle. The reason I want to mention that is because I think this election right now could prevent Ripple from getting a very good foothold in China. I believe the ongoing trade war between the US and China is another major factor, and the fact that the US and China are on a race to get a CBDC going could be a very big factor to Ripple's success. So what I want to say right there is, let's wait for the election to see how quick this is all going to go. And yes, that is a strange request, but I can't predict who is going to win this election. What I do know, however, is that it will have some great influence on XRP. And of course, on the whole crypto realm. Now, I've explained to you guys before the price correlation and the reasoning behind saying that this big election will most likely have some severe consequences on our economy. There's a couple of points I would like to make right there. First of all, there's a good chance that during an election or surrounding it, the price of the S&P will fall significantly. In my videos, I sometimes have referred to this as the 8-year fall, where prices fall back down lower to 8-year prior levels. Of course, this would be serious trouble for the S&P and would have insane consequences for XRP then as well, since we don't know the correlation. The second part about it is what the regulations are going to be looking like. We know Ripple has had some crazy ties to the Trump administration, and thus it is safe to assume that there will be a very profitable outcome if he were to win. However, it's very difficult to estimate exactly what that change would be. Also, what this crypto rat race, or no, crypto, I guess, space race is going to be looking like, who's going to be winning in all of that. That it's still very difficult to connect all the dots. However, what we do know though is that they're very much on their way to become, I guess, on top of all the regulatory stuff. It's looking very damn juicy, and I'm pretty damn excited to see where Ripple's going to be within 3 months. And yes, that's a very short amount of time, but literally everything could be different within 3 months. As I just said, S&P 500 could fall down to 8-year-old levels, which would be insane. Another part which I just forgot to mention was the fact that the world reserve currency currently is the dollar. Now, the second biggest market in the world is China. What happens every 95 years or so is that the world reserve currency shifts. I've explained this in depth in some of my videos. Now, right now, the US dollar has been the world reserve currency for 100 years, since 1920. Well, of course, there have been multiple world reserve currencies before that. You might be wondering, why did they change every 95 years or so? The main reason behind that is a big world catastrophe, whatever you say right there. You guys know what I mean. So, right now we have the CV. Hopefully you guys understand what that is, the big pandemic. That could be a very good reason, first of all, for the election to have more severe consequences this time, bringing the S&P lower, and second of all, to make this shift in world reserve currency happen. And following history, most of the time the world reserve currency is the strongest nation out there, or at least the strongest government, or something along those lines. Right now, the US is kind of number one in almost everything. However, since China is number two, and the big race is between the US and China, there's a chance that that's going to be where it's going to end up. And again, not going to leave any comments on what I think about that, but it's something to think about. And that's also something to think about for your crypto and your stock holdings. Again, this is not financial advice. It's just my personal thoughts and my personal observations in a fun manner. US lawmakers just passed a crypto bill. Here's what's in it. The Digital Taxonomy Act and Blockchain Innovation Act snuck through the House as part of the Consumer Safety Technology Act. In brief, the Digital Taxonomy Act and Blockchain Innovation Act were rolled out into the third bill, the Consumer Safety Technology Act. That bill was approved by the House of Representatives today. The bill focuses on consumer protection, both in protecting the public against token scams and harnessing blockchain to stop fraud. What we've seen very much happening the last couple of days is the fact that right now, Ripple is trying to solidify a good position in this newer regulatory world. What I mean with that is regulatory authorities have been coming back to try and get the CBDC system rolling out, but then also bashing crypto and also bashing stablecoins and bashing some other things. I firmly believe, and so are a lot of other people with me here, that Ripple had anticipated this move. Ripple has been working on this for years, and thus they knew what these guys were planning on battling. They've most likely, again, in my opinion, made the XRP Ledger Foundation also for this purpose of making sure there's no way that can be shut down and no way there can be another confusion over security and things like that. And haven't you guys also noticed? Whoever comes back to the point of XRP as a security? Nobody. When was the last lawsuit part? August 26th. Have we heard anything since then? No, we have not. There have not been any big allegations or accusations anymore from that time on forward. That's over a month. Normally there used to be another big part every 2 weeks or so. So that's a big piece of progress. At least if you ask me, that's a very, very big piece of progress. Now, with all of this, it's safe to assume, in my opinion, that there's something very big going on in the shadows. That they're not telling us, that they're not, wanting to enlighten us upon. With the primary reason being, they don't want to mess up this regulatory stuff, where it's like, they don't want to announce something before it's all set in place, because if they go too excited, and all of a sudden something changes within the regulation, it could be bad. Second part about that one is, it's actually a kind of a 1.2, but then also a 2.0, is that they might be waiting with that on the purpose of not wanting to act out before the election. And keep in mind, guys, 2021 is the year in which they should be kind of done and over for, and thus they don't have a long time. So it would be logical if they were to really go out heavily into the announcements right now. Because, it's not a small task, right? It's definitely not a small task. But they're not, which means they're waiting for something. Otherwise, they would have most likely updated us every time they had a new country going. And I'm not saying countries that are deployed. I'm talking them mentioning countries that they're going to be working with or that they have a connection with. We can figure it all out ourselves by drawing lines and seeing, things that have been mentioned on websites and such. But the real info, they're leaving, which is very strange in my opinion. Now, there have been multiple things that have happened in the last couple of days. Some big collaborations that connect Ripple. Ripple-friendly companies MoneyGram and Finastra have inked new partnerships to expand new markets. And thus, these efforts could be what's going to be pushing, towards this end goal. Because if you think about it, if companies that utilize XRP get bigger partnerships, well, then that means they're spreading, right? However, again, I'm still wondering from some more official Ripple announcements to come out surrounding that, because, they've been lacking a little bit in that regard. By the way, guys, do you all love XRP? And do you think you'll become an XRP millionaire? Let me know in the comments section down below. Let me know, guys. Let me know. All right. Then moving over to DJ Peter Voss. Ripple employees holding XRP can claim Spark tokens. On that one, I'm thinking Spark has a strange distribution, but they thought about it, right? They thought about who's able to claim and who's not able to claim XRP. Just want to give them some props for that. I like that. Moving over, Justin Sun says, this is huge. 4 billion USDT, which is Tether dollar, on Tron. Imagine the same or even more amount of Bitcoin on Tron. Bitcoin on Tron. Poloniex will be the first one to support it. If any exchanges want to support Bitcoin on Tron, please let me know. And you can see right here that it's being done. Don't know if I like it, don't know if it's important, but yeah, it's there. So then you know. Tron, however, the reason I'm saying this is because Tron is not in a good light right now. Leader that allowed Tron scams, Justin Sun, responds to claims by ex-employees. In response to Verge blasting article about Justin Sun allegedly controversial leadership style and the confining Tron and Bitcoin world culture, the crypto entrepreneur has issued a response. And basically here, there's just a very big discussion going on right now between Justin Sun being a complete maniac and Justin Sun having anything for, I guess, freeing this world and making everything just, I guess, better. You know, and there's so much criticism that I won't even go into it. Reason being, I don't want to let him down, Justin Sun, for if he is speaking the truth. And on the contrary, I don't want to let some of the guys who are accusing him down by covering Justin's ass. So again, if you're interested, check out these articles and look at it objectively. It's not one though, it's more. Tron is beating Ethereum activity thanks to gambling and wash trading, says report. So what this basically is about is Tron's volume and Tron's activity and all of that is going extremely well. And a lot of people are mentioning that this is not because Tron is so amazing in what they do. It's most likely because they're faking a lot of this stuff. It's most likely because Justin Sun, through Tron, has some good connections between Tron and some of the exchanges, and thus they're kind of scamming everybody. Not through, scamming people for real money. It's like they're scamming their numbers. They're just kind of lying to all of us, which might not be that effective, because who cares really? Well, I guess you care if you want to pick out what the most important chain is in the network and things like that, right? So it kind of matters, but it kind of doesn't. Because it's just numbers, it's just how good are these doing, and they lie. So it doesn't really matter from that perspective. But on the contrary, it does, because, well, if you got to pick one favorite coin then, and you pick for activity, well, Ethereum then does not take the cake, but Tron does, even though it's most likely fake. DeFi token exposed as pump and dump scam leaked in Telegram chat. So there's just been a little bit of a leak about, I guess another big DeFi dump. Tariq A says on Twitter, I asked him a question and he blocked me, but I'm glad the truth is revealed. So-called crypto influencers like him should be investigated and no one should trust or take any advice from him. So I don't know who he is and I don't want to quote on that. I just see here, yeah, we need people to dump on, which is again talking about a certain project in DeFi. I have never been involved in DeFi yet because I just don't want to get my hands dirty and all of that type of stuff, and I don't trust it. Maybe I will though if you guys request it, or there's something crazy out there which I can, I guess, follow up on. But as of this point, I don't think it's all worth it. DeFi is just such a shithole. Ting Peng, however, that's the writer, the author, says DeFi hype has just begun, according to the Neo founder, which is like DeFi, even though it's such a mess already and it has grown such tremendous amounts already, it'll get even bigger. It'll get even scarier and more people will win and lose their money. I do believe that though. I do believe DeFi is just at a start and a lot of guys are going to get into this heavily. And yeah, it's going to be crazy. But guys, DeFi is not all the way bad. There's also good applications for it. It's just the yield farming and stuff which people are getting heavily into right now, which is not that good. But guys, thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, and I will definitely see you guys again in another crypto video.